Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. You know what? Let's start off with Ava and Rafe making out. There's a point where Ava stops like, "Yo, should we be doing this?" And Rafe is just like, "Just stop talking." He was just like, "Just don't say anything." I was like, "Wow, okay." Um, I don't know. Rafe always comes across as a Boy Scout to me, so I'm just like, okay, this is a different side of Rafe. I like this guy. All right, let's see what this guy's more about. But of course, before they're able to really get into it, Nicole shows up because at this point, why not? Nicole, the cock blocker. So Nicole comes in and she starts talking to Rafe, about Jan Spears and talking to her and everything like that. And to be honest, I'm just like, Nicole, you didn't smell the sex. You walked into the room. 1 second. I mean, she walks in and it's like she sees that there's something going on. She doesn't know what, but like she can tell something's going on. But then she just starts spewing on about Jan Spears. And at this point, Rafe gets a call from Travis, so he leaves. And Ava pretty much tells Nicole, yeah, they kissed, and she was wondering was it a good idea and everything like that. And Nicole's like, yeah, no, that's what it was. Ava was like, yeah, I don't know if it was such a good idea that me and Rafe kissed, and Nicole's like, yeah, it probably wasn't a good idea. So she starts getting in on her like, oh well, you guys are from two different worlds, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. And it was just like, wow, okay, Nicole, like, what is going on? And she's all like, oh, well, he's just lonely, and, you're just kind of like a stray and everything like that. That's not what she said, but those are more or less along the lines of stuff that she was saying. And finally, Ava had enough. And Ava was like, okay, I see what this is about. You have feelings for Rafe. And of course, Nicole tries to like laugh it off or whatever, which I was like, you know what, listen, I was so glad that Ava called her out on the crap because Nicole really started to irk my nerves after a while. Like, she really did. And so when Ava called her out on it, I was like, and Nicole was like, oh, well, you must have forgot that I'm married. And Ava was like, yeah, well, Eric must have forgot that too. And she had the look on her face like she was shocked that she said that. She was livid. And I was like, good. Because you was literally tearing into her about her kissing a, well, single man. So, the fact that she said that, I was like, good. And of course, A was like, listen, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come at you like that. I just felt like you was coming at me like that, and Nicole's like, well, I just don't want to see anyone get hurt and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, Ava, listen, I get that you're trying to be nice to salvage your relationship with her. Because, well, let's be honest, she's probably your only friend in town. So I understand that, but, I mean, to be honest, she shouldn't be coming at you like that. She only came at you because she has feelings. And honestly, to tell you the truth, that's another thing. I was like, Nicole, you are such a goddamn coward. Okay, first, you let your husband go halfway around the world, and you were married for, 2 days before, you were just like, yeah, no, it's a totally good idea. You didn't say anything the entire time. You didn't sit there and say, well, could you come back home, or anything like that. You didn't open up your mouth and say anything, and now that you have feelings for somebody else, and you're too ashamed to admit it, the minute somebody else decides to jump at Rafe, now you want to sit there, just... And honestly, to tell you the truth, as I was sitting there watching it, I was like, I'm still remembering that scene when her and Nicole, where Sammy and Nicole were sitting there fighting, and, they were throwing each other into the wedding cake, and I was like, Sammy is being really over the top, and I actually felt bad for Nicole, and, granted that Sammy is still over the top, I'm really starting to feel less bad for Nicole. That woman just irks me. And I don't know why she irks me so much, but it's scenes like this that helps me to understand why she irks me so much. But even before, it was something that I really didn't like. I mean, at least they fixed her, like, makeup and lipstick and everything, but still, I don't know. She's starting to get on my goddamn nerves. You know, we're gonna get into the Ben stuff, because to be honest, I almost felt like the Ben and Ciara stuff was somewhat forgettable. Somewhat forgettable. Let's be honest, I felt like they had the least amount of screen time in this episode. Pretty much not Nicole. Ciara and Theo are ready to sit there and go. They run into Ben at the hospital, like, what's going on? What are you here for? Excuse me. And Ben gives Ciara, I don't know, I guess like a lug nut or something like that. And of course, you know, Ciara is being all super bitchy to him, talking about, I don't want any more of your junk, and yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. And Ben is like, yo, this is like a, you know, piece from your father. And then she has that look on her face like, what? I was like, oh, so she's gonna calm down on her being kind of like all bitchiness and everything. So she takes the, whatever it is, and then she leaves. And, you know, Theo's like, alright, you know, let's get out of here. I'm like, Theo, you goddamn snake. Now, here's the thing about this whole scene. I don't know if, from what somebody was meant to tell me, is that there was a good chance that the actress that plays Ciara is leaving. If that's true, and I don't know if it is, I'm going to sit there and try to look it up online tonight, but if that's true, then all I'm going to sit there and say is, good riddance, and I kind of hope you never come back. And the reason why I sit there and say it is because you got to sit there and remember, while this whole storyline about Ciara getting caught, and, you know, her being held captive for such a long time, and yada yada yada, while that was really actually kind of a good story, let's just sit there and remember that the reason why this story kind of came into place, I feel like, is because, well, there was some sort of backdoor drama between some contract negotiations between the actress that plays Ciara and the studio or whatever. And so that's the reason why she wasn't really on there, you know, like fully, I feel like. So the fact that, once again, it has something to do with Ciara and some sort of contract or whatever, it's like, yo, listen, I don't know what to tell you. But, like, if you're gonna go, just stay going, have them recast, and just, let's keep it moving at this point, because, I'm gonna be honest, this is kinda dumb. This is like the second time that she seemed that she left. Now, I could be wrong, and if I am, I apologize. I will sit there and look more into it, but this is just my impression. This is my first, you know, reaction, kind of impression to the whole thing. So I'm like, yeah, if she's gone, like, and this is because of some backdoor drama. Now, if it's on the studio's part, then that sucks on them. But if it's on the actress's part, then that sucks on her, and she could just kick rocks. I guess it's easy for me to say that because I haven't been watching as long. I haven't been used to the character as long. So it's more easy for me to sit there and say it, and I guess it just kind of comes across as like blase blah, I guess. Like if this was GH and this was, let's say, a character named Sonny, and he decided to leave or whatever, I don't know exactly how I feel. I'd probably be kind of upset, to be honest. So I understand if that's the case. But I kind of want to sit there and talk about that because I felt like, again, it was like the almost least amount of screen time with those actors. Now, let's get into the John, Marlena, and Bella stars. So, Bella is like, oh, okay, she comes to, you know, realize that somebody is setting her up. You know, because John is like, you know, I didn't see her face or anything like that, who's ever behind the red coat. And Bella's like, well, it had to be Sammy. I'm writing Jan Spears right there. I'm like, okay, she's going to realize it's Jan Spears, right? And she says Sammy. I'm like, what the f... I was like, wait. you come to the conclusion that... How did you come to the conclusion that your own sister set you up for murder? This is when, after they already cleared her, why would she set you up? Because she was like, oh, well, you know, it was Sammy that really killed Charlie and she set me up. I was like, but they cleared her. If they already cleared her, then why would she set you up? And also, listen, I get that they have beef and, you know, they don't like each other at times, but listen, I don't know Sammy too well. I know Sammy's capable of doing a lot of things, but setting up her own sister for murder? I mean, and she was going on about that for a good while. And then when Sammy walked into the room, she was like, yeah, you did it. You set me up. You this, that, and the third. And I'm like, and this chick is a lawyer? The sad thing is that I felt like they wrote that scene in there. And it just was like, why would you make this woman that seems like an intelligent woman really stupid in this part? This makes zero sense whatsoever. So I'm just like, so is this bad writing or what? I mean, yeah, she does realize that Sammy didn't set her up and that she's just scared and yada yada yada. But I was like, listen, I get that people get scared and they do and they say stupid stuff, but this is a reach. This is a reach, even for soap opera. Like, if this was a friend, and I can understand she jumped in that conclusion, but your own family member? I mean, Jesus Christ, maybe if it was a cousin and you really didn't like them, but even still, I just... So, you know, they're back to square one. Sean comes over, and of course, you know, they let Sean know about the whole recording and everything like that. Now, Sean got kicked off the case, so he's like, you know what, listen, I don't have to sit there and tell Trash that. So, Tran, I think that's her name, Tran or Trash. I don't have to tell her that, so, good on me. Now, Rafe gets summoned at this point by Tran, and, you know, they get into it for a little bit. Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, because, well, Jan Spears walks into the police office, and she starts bothering Sean about, oh, well, you know, Bella, you know, I mean, I can't believe that she most likely did it. I mean, the whole button and everything like that. She just goes on and on and on and on and on. I was like, Jan Spears, you are a terrible villain because you are so, like, one-dimensional. Anyway, whatever she does, gets on Sean's skin. They start going back and forth. Tran comes in there. Melinda. I'm calling Melinda because I just not... Yeah, I'm not doing that. So Melinda walks in and she's like, well, you know, they have some exchange, they have some words or whatever. Long story short, Melinda kicks Sean off the case and was like, yo, listen, you can't be objective, so you gotta go. So that happens, and at some point, Rafe comes into, you know, into the police station. Now, Jan Spears at this point is like, I'm wondering how people just like, yo, what are you still doing here? Like, why are you here? Like, Sean is already gone. The person you were talking to already left, and you're just kind of... I mean, she's literally just kind of like wandering around in a corner like a nut job at this point. And Rafe comes in there, and they exchange some words back and forth as far as, you know, Bella not being guilty, and she thinks that Bella's guilty and stuff like that. Now, at some point, I'm not gonna lie, some of this, so it wasn't that it was a blur, it was just like, this is kind of dumb at this point, but, what's her name? Jan talked to Melinda, and pretty much just like, you know, I think Bella did it, and I have a recording, and I just want you to leave my name out of it, and, you know, I want Bella to go down. Now, Melinda already knows about the history between Sean and Bella and Jan. And so she's not, like, automatically going to sit there and just be like, alright, yeah, cool, I'll listen to what you have to say. But for some odd reason, because, well, Melinda's just, you know, grasping at straws at this point, it's like, alright, fine, I'll hear you out. So, she gets, well, she gets from Rafe to get a warrant or whatever to find the recording. I don't know exactly where she got it from. I don't know if she went to Marlinda's office, which apparently she just leaves doors unlocked and everything, because at this point, why not? But anyway, Rafe gets a hold of the recording, because I guess when he got something back there again, she was like, "Hey, listen, I got this warrant and I need you to execute it. So get to it." So Rafe comes over to John's place, and John lets him in, and you know, Rafe is at this point like, "Yo, listen, I gotta take you down to the station." And they're just kind of wondering, like, what's going on. Now, before Rafe gets there, John's like, "Listen, alright, everyone in this room, we all kind of know the truth, and as far as this recording goes, we're not going to say anything until, the real killer's caught, because just right now, only the four of us knows." But when Rafe comes in there, Rafe was like, "Yeah, I gotta take you down to the station." And they're just kind of like, "What's going on?" At this point, Rafe plays the recording. Rafe plays the recording of John sitting there talking about, "Oh, it's our little girl that shot Bella." And I'm just sitting there thinking, I get that he was like kind of deciphering through these memories and everything like that, but the only thing that he saw was a coat. Only thing he saw was a coat. Honestly, to tell you the truth, at this point, I can sit there and kind of debate it back and forth, but at the end of the day, we'll just see exactly wherever this trail goes. But wow, how many times have Jan Spears been like coming at the Sean and always think they're trying to do something to Bella to sit there and get Sean? Because this is like a one-trick pony that I'm just like, I can't be the only person that's just kind of over this. I mean, this is the first or second time that I've seen this. We're gonna sit there and say, I'm gonna sit there and say the second time. I don't remember the first time, but I just remember this time. And it was like, yo, is this her only plot? Every time she escapes, this is the first thing that she does is go after Sean or go after Bella. Like she doesn't terrorize anyone else. Like, this is all she does. Like, man, I mean, granted, I still think Nell Benson's bad from GH, but Jesus Christ, I know that they used to have better villains in the 90s, and this is just like, this is the best that you got? Jan Spears? Like, really? I mean, Kristen, Kristen is fun to watch, so she's good, but she's good. She's good at what she does, but her reason for doing it is just so sad and pathetic, because her whole plot of doing all this, of kidnapping Sarah, of kidnapping Kate, of trying to break Kate up and Jake and everything like that, is to try to hold on to a man that, from what I can understand from what people have told me, just goes after anything with legs. But, is the only person that can handle Kristen, because, let's be honest, how many other people is going to sit there, how many other men or other people is going to want to go out with someone that will literally stab one of their relatives in the heart and still go after them, and still go with them after? Well, Brady, because, well, he's a moron, so. Oh, and the last scene, I almost forgot, was the Lucas and Sam part. How did I forget Sammy part? I don't know how I forgot that. Not gonna lie, it was kind of silly, to be honest. The only thing that really happened was Lucas came over, and actually, I don't know if Lucas came over. I think he was already there. So Lucas is already there, I think. And Chloe comes over, and Chloe's like, "Listen, I found a doctor for you. He can really sit there and diagnose you and just find out what's going on." Now, earlier, Sammy was giving Lucas a lot of smoke about how he failed at this plan of trying to woo her and went from wooing her to faking a brain tumor, because that really just happened. So she's giving him hell or whatever. Chloe comes in. Chloe's like, listen, I got a doctor for you. We gotta leave right away. I found a specialist. And, Lucas is like, yeah, this is not gonna work because the minute that this doctor finds out I don't really, I have a brain tumor, this whole charade is gonna get, done. So, he's trying to stall. He was like, no, I don't want to do it, yada, yada, yada. And at some point, he's like, you know what, listen, we can't do this. Like, I can't do this. So he's about to confess. He's about to sit there and just tell Chloe the real reason why, everything. About Kristen and all that. Now, Sammy walks in, and Sammy's like, oh, I'm so glad I came in time. The doctor said that he'd be acting a little kind of crazy. So, at some point, Chloe goes away, and Sammy once again convinces Lucas to stick with the plan because, listen, you kind of screwed this plan at this point. Well, you screwed up this plan. But here's the thing. If we don't keep Chloe away from Brady, Kristen will do it. And, do I really have to sit there and finish the sentence? It's Kristen. So, better us than Kristen. So, Lucas agrees, to mostly keep Chloe safe from Kristen. Also, Kristen will sit there and tell EJ, and I think this is the thing. Sammy was sitting there saying something along the lines of, oh, well, you know how DiMera men handle their women's, straying or whatever. And I'm like, Sammy, why the hell are you going out with somebody that seems that is kind of psychotic and you're afraid of him? Like, why would you want to be in a relationship like that? Like, this relationship in some sort of way seems kind of abusive. At least on a mental note at some point. Like you're really that afraid of the consequences. Like, this whole... It's stupid. I'm not gonna lie. It's really dumb. But this is pretty much what the writers have cooked up. And, yeah. I am so trying not to be negative about that, but I just can't help just like, and the thing is, it's not like Sammy is this like frail, mousy kind of character, she seems like the type of person that can handle herself, she's dealing with somebody that's like abusive or whatever, she's like, yo, listen, I don't have to take care of crap, like I have, her, but also she has family and stuff like that that can get her out of this situation, so it's like, why are you staying with this guy for? She says she's doing it out of love, but I feel like it's more out of pity or guilt. And it's just like, really, Sammy? This is... Okay, I can just kind of go on and on about that, but the point is, it's dumb, and, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have. As far as this episode. I think that's pretty much kind of covers everything. I think that's about it. If I missed anything, please write it down in the comment section below. With that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. I will catch you in the next video.